hello, everybody. Welcome back to Unscripted with Amy Kruzik and
David Ellis.
yes. Okay, so on today's show, I was actually watching a podcast. This guy was interviewing a monk, and I thought they talked about meditation, and I thought, oh, I know a guy who was raised in. You were raised in a TM center, Transcendental Meditation. But I kind of wanted to deep dive because I thought his points, have you ever met a monk before?
Yes, several.
Yes, several. Okay, so then, they're just so I just loved him. And what was good about it was that he talked about, his just normal everyday things that we people don't think that they would ever do. Does that make sense? Like his, let's say good and bad, but he talked about his bad stuff. And it was like, wow.
You mean he was honest?
Yes, he was honest. He was honest with who he was and that he still struggles, even though he's a monk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I thought, is David part monk? I don't know. Is David part monk? But he started off with talking about purpose. And I'm just reading some of the notes. And this state of pursuit that we're always in, this dopamine effect that there's always something that we need to be doing and need to be doing in search of this purpose, which is a misguided pursuit, is what he said. So that's how he said our real addiction, our deepest addiction is our thoughts.
That's correct.
Yeah, the root of it. And so when a thought comes into your mind, you jump on it. And what meditation helps is to put that thought aside. They're allowed to come in. And he also said that, it's not about getting rid of your thoughts. It's about letting them, they can jump in, but you have to go back to the breathing. Once they jump in, you come back to the breathing, and that's how you build the muscle in meditation. It's like there's 3 easy steps.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that I could break down for you here.
Yes. Okay.
There are a lot of misconceptions about meditation.
Yeah.
And I want to clear them up. So, meditation is not something that is difficult. Your natural state is meditation. The state that most people live in is an unnatural state. Yes. And I say that in earnest, because if you're thinking that your natural state is to have tension in your scalp, in your brain stem, in the middle of your head, brain fog and all those things, and you consider that natural, I'm here to tell you that it's not. Okay, so
okay,
that's the first misconception, that meditation is some artificial state. The natural state is meditation. The second misconception is that meditation is about clearing your thoughts. That's never going to happen. Your thoughts will be cleared when you die.
Yes, that's what he kind of said.
All right. That's the only time your thoughts are going to be cleared. It's not about clearing your thoughts either. Meditation is about organizing the thoughts in a manner which is convenient for you. Because most people are walking around with heads that are not convenient for them at all. Okay. So if you are overly visual, you're going to be visualizing things all the time. And that's your thought pattern. Yes. If you are the kind of person that needs stimulation all the time, then it's going to pop up to give you that dopamine effect that he was talking about.
Yeah.
What meditation does is put you in touch with the part of yourself that does not need any of those things and prioritizes it and brings it forward. Now, I think there's something to be said when people say, I'm searching for myself. Did you lose yourself? Yeah. What you meant is that you lost the ability to contact yourself inside yourself. And thoughts are the culprit. So I'm going to tell you that in the Gita, there is this um, allegory of a charioteer, and there are 5 horses that are pulling the chariot. Now, the 5 horses represent the 5 senses that you have that are running wild and leading you away. But the charioteer is the one that is supposed to be guiding the horses. And without his guidance, they will run in different directions. And that's what your thoughts are like.
So we need to become the chariot
You need to become the charioteer in charge
in
of
charge.
everything.
Right. So when those thoughts come in, what did he say?
Mhm. They're not supposed to rule you.
Right. They're supposed to say, recognize, come back to your breath.
Correct.
Okay. I thought that I've never heard it explained that way, that these 3 easy steps. And he also said that your breath, just concentrate on this breath. You don't have to do box breathing. You don't have to do all that nostril breathing or whatever that is. The one nostril and then change it,
Cross breathing. Go ahead.
cross breathing. You can just use your own breath and listen to your own breath, and then your thoughts go, and then you come back to your breath. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is another misconception that meditation is some practice that you do in the morning, like for 20 minutes and 20 minutes in the night, in the evening. No, meditation is something that you should be practicing all throughout the day in the
Yes.
form of mindfulness. There's such a thing as mindfulness meditation. So the practice that is in the morning where you sit down and you're concentrating on the breath and it's all formal, like you have your little incense burning here
Yes.
and you got your little pictures on the wall, the yantras
Crystals.
and mandalas and stuff like that on the wall and so on. That is a spiritual practice. Meditation should be with you throughout the day. So one of the
Yeah.
things that a very good teacher taught me very early in this meditation journey of mine was reality and all the good things in life are to be found in the small and slow places. In the small
Mm.
and slow places. So when you close your eyes and just be in the moment of you just being here, listening to your breath, that in and of itself is meditation. It's not some formal practice with the incense and the yantras and the yoga pants from Lululemon. It's not any of those things. It is,
Yeah.
you don't have to learn how to sit in lotus position to meditate.
No. No. And that was what was so beautiful about it, because he's like, you don't need any equipment to meditate.
No.
And he said that those micro moments of mindfulness, like at a red light, you're in traffic, those are the moments, those
Yeah.
little moments that you can rewire your brain,
Mhm.
because that's kind of what meditation does, is rewire it.
Correct. To make the thoughts more convenient for you.
Yes. And I really like that. So now you did transcendental meditation. You grew up in a TM center.
Yes.
At what age? 13?
13.
So tell us about this growing up, the good parts, the not so good parts.
Good parts. Growing up in a meditation center, you are assured that the people there have some form of self awareness. So they're aware of the energy between people.
Mm-hmm.
If you are aware of the energy between people, then you can regulate the energy between yourself and others. So, in a state where you have a community of people who are aware or self aware because they're in a state of mindfulness, if you are that person who stays in states of mindfulness, it is in your best interest to cultivate a community around you. Okay? Because in that community, people choose goodness as
Mm.
part of their state. They choose goodness. A lot of people are on the fence. I don't know whether I want to be good. You know, there are a whole bunch of people out there who are trying to struggle whether they are good people or bad people. No, just make a choice and stick with that choice.
People have difficulty with choices and just making it.
You want to know why? Too many
Why?
thoughts in the head, ruling them and causing them problems.
Like, yeah, just like the other show, we talked about resistance and rationalization.
Too many thoughts in the head, inconvenient thoughts. Like,
Yeah.
I would like to be a good person, but no, you just choose to be a good person. I
Yeah.
would like to be a decent person, but. So the good parts is that you're around a community that could help you. And when you're in a community of like minded people, the vibration does raise quite a bit. And it's easier for you to stay in a state of neutrality, happiness.
Yeah.
That's the good parts. The bad parts, you eventually have to leave the TMs.
Yes, I was just gonna say.
You eventually have to leave the TM center. And boy, is that going to be some culture shock to you.
Yeah.
Because when you are in the TM center, we had rules. Like we had rules. Like we wouldn't interact with people if the vibration was off. Okay? You're having a bad day, you go, you sit down in a corner and you meditate.
Yeah.
Right? And the vibration of the place and the vibration of the people around you erases the bad day. Then you have to go out into society again.
Yeah.
Okay. Problem, if you are really, really deep into meditation, like I was when I was younger, really, really deep into it, when you go out into society and you decide to go to, I don't know, university for the first time, the
Oh
culture
God.
shock is
Oh God.
massive. You don't think that you could look at people. It's like it's really animalistic the way people interact with each other a lot of the times. Most people interact with each other from a parasitical point of view. Do you realize this?
Yeah.
And so when you are sensitive to energy because you've been meditating for a good long while, when you interact with people, the empathy that you have developed as a result of being around like minded people, it looks like a sea or a wave of negativity that is coming at you when you're in a social circle. And I know there's a whole bunch of spiritual people out here that are going to be saying, oh, you just need to put up your psychic defense, your
I,
white light around you. Nonsense. It's
yeah.
nonsense. It's nonsense.
Yeah. That's like a shock to your system.
Well, yeah, it is. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that people who say stuff like this, put up your psychic defense and your
Yeah.
little white lights around you, they have no idea the psychic awareness that develops when you are mindful. You see things that you don't want to see. That's the bad parts.
Mm-hmm.
You get to see people's drives, their motivations, their insecurities, their hatreds, and all of their biases up front and center without their even having to speak. And so you don't like what you see. That's the bad parts.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to see people as they are, don't meditate.
Oh, so how did you work with that then? When you went to university of all places to go?
How did I work with that? Well, I live
Yeah.
alone, Amy. What do you think? Okay.
No, 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 back
It
back in
was
the day.
it,
Back in
it,
the day. You're young. What are you? You're in your early 20s? What was it?
yeah, I wasn't even in my
Yeah.
20s when I went to universities. Um, it was a bit of a culture shock.
Yeah.
I actually left the island that I was born in and I went to another island. And it was quite a bit of a culture shock because uh, people were, it was cool to be mean.
Mm.
Not something that I had ever really encountered. It was cool to be mean. And it's not like I didn't know that there were that meanness existed because, in the island that I grew up, there was a lot of meanness as well.
Yeah.
But it was when you have to interact with it, it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And so you learn to adjust real quick,
Mm-hmm.
right? The other option is to isolate. And isolation is not a good thing
No.
because you don't get used to anything. But
Oh, yeah.
so you have to now change the personality. So there are two versions of yourself: the version that interacts with society, and then there's the other version of yourself that has to see yourself in meditation morning, noon, and night. So people get the interface, and the interface is the person that's going to, make jokes with you and say, oh, use words like, I don't know, shit, as an example. And then there's the other part of you that has to deal with the spiritual aspect of the meditation that you are doing, where you see yourself and you see your own drives and motivations, and you see how society may be changing you.
Oh. So, what was my question about that? Because what would happen when were you trying to fit in? Did you ever try to fit into like being like, you know,
Everybody tries to fit in. There are consequences to not fitting in, and trust me,
yeah,
the consequences are usually severe.
yeah,
So the best that try to fit in, no. The reason why I say don't try, like as an example, I don't eat meat as an example, right?
right,
And I don't take drugs and I don't drink
right,
alcohol, and I was not going to bend on those things.
right. Yeah, there's certain things.
So you have to find little niches when you're young, as an example. First of all, I want to say, I don't think anybody who's really, really young who wants to enjoy their teenage years should start meditating. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's a trap. Okay? I think, uh, and they got me when I was really young.
Yeah. And probably for your choice or someone else's choice.
It was my choice,
Yeah,
and I needed the peace and the awareness. And
yeah,
so when you are in a state where you are meditating for a long time, okay, it's okay. When you're an adult, it's fine. When you're in young and so on, you have to find little niches to fit into, because you know that nobody else is meditating at 16, 17, 18, these kinds of years.
yeah.
They're busy doing stupid stuff with their life. They're getting drunk, they're learning about alcohol and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think for me, what it was is a simple problem of having two different lives running. So, what you can do when you are in meditating and stuff like that, or let's say you're a meditator at that age, is become the designated driver, as an example.
Mm-hmm.
So, everybody thinks you're weird for not drinking, but you're useful because they're not dying. Okay.
Yes, you're right. You know what I
You
used to
fit into
do?
these little categories.
Or you come up with kind of like a creative way of pretending to drink, like I would do, thinking
You used to pretend to drink.
I did. I did.
Okay,
I mean, hey, they bought
that's
it because
funny as hell.
I didn't, alcohol was not my friend. And so I'm like, I just pretended to hold a glass and then,
Yeah, I still do that up to today, actually, now that I think of it. I was invited to a party recently,
yeah.
and thankfully the cups were little red plastic cups.
And
And so you're walking around with a little red plastic cup and it's empty and nobody knows what.
exactly.
And it's kind of like a weird thing. I think there's a kind of evil that goes into when it is that you want to live a particular kind of life, but people think that you should be living another kind of life.
Mhm.
So they try to get you drunk. Or just have a little drink, just a little sip and
Yeah,
spill.
just that's exactly. This was like in college and it was like a frat house and it was like
Yeah, it's amazing. It
it's a
really is. And that's the
and
awareness that you have to have. Who are you really?
yes. And I pretended and I would dump it out. Like it was just something creative that I was able to do and I didn't get forced. Not that anybody should force you to do it, but at that time, yeah, I was a little bit of a kind of like
Yeah,
wanted to fit in.
I know for myself I'm never going to drink alcohol. I
Yeah.
just never will.
No, not at this point. What would be the
Yeah,
point?
yeah,
What would
yeah.
be the point?
Yeah, I can't do anything stupid anymore, right? Right?
What would be the point? Okay, so I wanted to ask you something. So you said something about it's not emptying your mind, or I said something about it's not emptying your mind. So if it isn't about stopping the thinking, then what is the true nature of observing our thoughts?
Okay, that's a difficult question. Um,
It's open-ended.
when you are meditating, your thoughts are going to come through the mind. If you exert resistance against the thoughts, then you're going to lose that battle because your conscious mind, the part of your mind that you give a name to, such as Amy or David, does not have a lot of strength. It's just an interface.
Yeah.
Your subconscious mind is a lot stronger and more powerful than it will ever be. And so when you try to stop thoughts, you're basically asking the transistor radio that you hooked into a power line to stop the electricity from coming.
Right. And isn't that kind of like a scapegoat of not really seeing what you should be seeing to help you?
Yeah,
Don't these thoughts help you?
yes, the thoughts
Yeah.
help you. When thoughts come into your mind, they're reporting from the subconscious part of your mind to let you know who you are and where you are. This is a communication process.
Yeah.
When we refer to the higher self, a lot of people believe that Amy or David, who is speaking to you now, is the real personality. It is absolutely not. Most people will never come into connection with their higher self because they don't meditate.
Yeah.
They usually come into connection with their higher self when they end up in comas or they get knocked out for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But most people will not come into connection with their higher self. That is not the real you. Absolutely, it is not.
No.
The real you is not the person that is talking when it is, or the person who's listening to this broadcast. It absolutely is not. Right. And, you tell people this and they're like, okay, sounds legit, but we don't have the experience. And I urge you to try to get that experience. There's a song back in the 60s by a lady who's talking about coming back to herself. I've never been to me. I can't remember who made that song.
Mm.
It's a very, very important song. I've been to Georgia and California and anywhere that I could run. I
Ah,
You
I
remember
don't know
that
that
song?
one. I don't know that one.
I
Well,
took a trip to Monte Carlo and whatever she showed them what she's got, and she said she's never been to her. It's a very important song because it details exactly what I'm talking about. Everybody is everything and wear a bunch of masks, but they don't know who they are inside, right? And because they can't tap into the real personality, everything they do is reactionary. The thoughts make them react. Look, so
yes,
go
it's
to a bar, in your thought pattern is I need to get drunk, hit on women or men, as the case may be, right? And act like an ass because that's what I'm supposed to do.
yeah. I'm the
Yeah,
entertainment for tonight
yeah,
with my group of friends.
because that's my role. That's who I am. This is a
Yeah.
persona. It's not who you are. Who you are, you will only discover when you start listening to all the thoughts that are being reported to you. Because the inner parts of the mind, they communicate not by telling you, yo, you're being stupid. They send you thought patterns. They send you thoughts, shapes, symbols, etc. to let you know that. But you can't decode it because the language that you are using or the language you're listening to right now does not effectively decode what you should be experiencing when you talk to the inner mind. I'll give you an example of what I
Yeah.
mean, Amy. If I ask you to put into words the first time you held Emily, your
Mhm.
baby, in your arms after pregnancy,
Mhm.
and you look down at her little face, you can't
Oh,
find the words.
no. I get chills. That's the words. I
Right?
just did.
You can't find the words. And that's what I'm talking about. The language is not sufficient to talk to the inner mind. It's not sufficient for the experiences that you have under a meditative awareness. When you ask a woman to explain this construct to you, the first time you see your child or the first time your child is brought into your arms, there are no words to describe that.
No.
But your mind can describe it if you actually see it inside your mind. And most people don't have those experiences anymore. Okay, because their minds are so buried under a weight of garbage thoughts that are unresolved that it's like you have a table and you have a bunch of cards on the table and they're really badly arranged. Meditation takes the cards, put them into neat piles, and then you could look at the cards and put them into piles and stuff like that. A clear table is a wonderful table.
Yeah.
So people ask me what the benefits of meditation are.
Yeah. What are they?
Increase physical strength, stamina, for certain, because your mind is clear. So the channel between your body and your mind becomes clearer.
Yeah.
Right. Enhance sensitivity, which means that when you hug your loved one, you actually feel something.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
As opposed to, oh look, this kind of that kind of hug,
Oh
you
yeah.
actually feel something. Your heart opens.
Yeah.
That's a big benefit. A lot of people don't think of it as a benefit. It was a big deal. I feel something. No, you don't feel anything. What you're feeling is familiarity. You're not feeling the transmission and the reception that is being communicated, where when you hug somebody, you form a circuit with that person. You form an energetic circuit with that person. And so a lot of people tend not to experience these things.
Do you, because I was just going to say what this monk said, because he practiced it with the guy that was interviewing him, and he did it because this guy just resists meditation, and he, because his thoughts are always on. So he said, have an intention. Do you have an intention before you go into your meditations? And just like a basic intention.
There are 5 different kinds of meditation.
Oh, okay.
There are a couple of them that require intention.
Okay.
But there are 5 basic types of meditation. So I do all 5 different types of meditation, and I rotate them depending on the time of year. Would you like to expand on that for you?
Yes. What is this? I've never heard.
There is contact. The 2 basic types are contact and control. So, but there are 5 recognized types. The 5 recognized types is mantra meditation. It is the audible sound that you recite in the mind. The mind picks up the mantra and it tries to figure it out, unravel it. The more you recite it, it's like when I teach esoteric classes, or you're teaching people how to, I don't know, cast spells or whatever, the witches of old and so on. When they uttered words, the words were not just words that came out of their mouths. The words were words that were embedded in their cellular structure. So when you said Om, the resonance, the frequency, the word Om, or whatever mantra you're using, Man is mind and Thra to float or be free. That's what it means. It becomes embedded in the cellular structure, the DNA of the individual. So when the words are uttered, those words become an utterance that is coming from the person's entire body.
Yeah.
Like an opera singer. It's not the mouth that is making the sound. It is the entire body, down to the toenail, that is making that sound.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's how you tell the difference between a good singer and an average singer. Yeah.
The
The person is a songbird. If
Yeah.
you've ever seen a canary sing,
Yeah.
it's not just a certain amount of parts of the canary. The canary is singing with everything that is the canary. It is its natural state to sing, and that sound is a natural. When you're doing mantra meditation, this is where you're trying to get to. So that's the first one. There is open eye meditation, right? Now, there are different kinds of open eye meditation. There's tratak, which is candle gazing.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem that most people have with tratak is they try to look at the candle. The point of the exercise is not to look at the flame. The point of the exercise is to see the space between you and the flame,
Oh. Mm-hmm.
because your awareness expands as you look at the flame because you are focused. And now you can see the space between you and that thing. Everybody would like to be clairvoyant, etc. I'm here to tell you, you can become clairvoyant in 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You can become clairvoyant in 5 minutes. You don't need to become this big, I need to go to classes and find myself a master and then I'll be psychic just like that. No, you can see
No.
auras in 5 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to bet anybody that I can teach them how to become clairvoyant in 5 minutes free of charge. It's very simple. Okay. Once you understand Tratak and letting go of the mind, you're going to be able to see everything that you need to see, right? All those nice, fanciful, psychic things that people talk about, right? Oh, I'm different from you because I'm psychic and you're not. No.
Everybody is, really.
Everybody has that ability and they can access it within 5 minutes. This is nonsense when people start to talk about, oh, I don't think I can. Like I have to go to, I'm
Yeah.
not feeling enough or whatever else. Listen, you can become psychic in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. So Tratak is gazing.
Okay.
Then there is third eye meditation, which is the esoteric meditation done by witches and magicians and so on. So, third eye meditation is really a meditation that is, well, basically, you close your eyes, you could just put a little dot in your head and you look up through the third eye. The intention is to open it. Okay. Now, a lot of people say, oh, you have to practice for years. And no, that'll be done in 10 minutes. I hate this nonsense. If you can't do it in 10 minutes, get yourself a Lucia light, sit underneath it. Yeah, it's going to open.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All this third eye stuff, and people, this is the problem with esoteric practice, whether it be yoga, whatever else. They always try to make it sound so mystical, so difficult.
Yeah. No.
It's not difficult. It's not mystical. If you do third eye meditation, the point of the third eye meditation is that you can become a transmitter and you can transmit energy a lot more expansive than you would normally. Okay. So I'll give you an example, a working example of what I mean. You can go into a bar. Okay. There's this gorgeous man on the other side of the bar, right? You want to make energetic contact with him, right? And you're a woman, right? And so all you could do is spit out a little bit of energy about this much. He ain't hearing you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Telling your girlfriend, wow, yeah, I'd really like to go
Right?
over and meet him.
He's not hearing you. Right? You are supposed to be able to transmit intentionality far. Okay? Very, very far. The Aboriginals in Australia can do it. Why can't you?
Yeah.
How do you think that these tribes interact with each other? The Aboriginals in Australia can do it. Your dog can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Your household dog
Mm-hmm.
knows when you are transmitting and it can pick it up. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So
I-
let me ask you a question. Why can't you do it? With the higher mind that you have and you build cities and you make Nikes and all that stuff. Why can't you do it? You want to know why you can do it? Because you don't believe that you can.
Mhm.
And so when you want to transmit a parabola, right, which is the technical term for it, right, to someone, you can throw the intentionality through the air. but you're not going to be able to, because you know what? That generator up here is shut down. Why is it shut down? Because you have too many thoughts clogging up the network.
Yes.
You ever try to place an outgoing call on a cell phone back in the day, and the network is too flooded with people on
Yes.
the phone, and it's like, oh no, call failed, call
I
failed.
know.
This is
Yeah.
basically what is happening. And your network is supposed to be free of stuff. So meditate. Third eye meditation will make you the transmitter.
Okay, can I
Go,
ask you? Oh,
go
let
ahead.
me ask you a real quick question about this third eye thing because I had a weird. Maybe you can explain it. I don't know. A couple months ago. So when I close my eyes,
Mhm.
it feels like they're open. I had to touch my eyes because I thought, are they open? What is that? Is that going through the third eye?
Yeah, because you don't actually need your eyes in the first place. You actually
I
don't
know.
need your eyes.
It
Listen,
was the weirdest thing though. That's the
there are
feeling. It
people
was
who have gone blind and their senses increase, the hearing, and people think, oh, it's because the senses increase. That's why he's so good and he has a cane and he can. No, no, actually, it's because he has let another
yeah,
kind of seeing take over. That's why the blind person is aware.
yeah,
Okay?
yeah,
Another kind of sight has taken over.
yeah.
So he can actually map you while you're speaking. That would be third eye
Yes.
meditations. Bats
Okay.
have it. It's not just sonar, it's an imaging system. It's a throwing system. It's a dolphins, bats,
Yeah.
all
I
of
was
these creatures have it. It's not sound alone, it is the ability to image.
yeah.
And
That's how they
so,
say you should talk to animals is through image, not through, "Oh, you're so cute." Da, da, da. You should send them images.
correct.
That's how you talk to them.
Correct, because the animals are very good receivers of
Mhm.
your transmission. And
Mhm.
if you've ever had a pet and so on, they work by transmission. That's why certain animals don't like certain people. It's
Exactly.
possible. They don't like certain people because of the transmission coming off of them. And so the third eye meditation makes you the transmitter. Let me go over that again. Mantra meditation makes you the communicator with your internal self.
Mhm.
Okay? Because you learn how to float, right? Um, open eye meditation makes you the clairvoyant because you'll now learn how to see,
Mhm.
right? Third eye meditation will make you the transmitter. You need to learn how to transmit energy, because if you're going to be doing any kind, this is why it's practiced by witches and magicians, because if you're going to be doing any kind of energetic work that requires manifestation, you're not going to be able to do it without being able to transmit intentionality. You just aren't. Then there is moving meditation. Moving meditation is Tai Chi, Qigong,
Oh, yeah.
right? So if I ask you to just move your hand here like this,
Yeah.
it increases the sensitivity of everything. Most people are dead inside. You have a nervous system for a reason. It's not just there for decoration. It's not there to warn you about pain. It actually has good functionality. Okay? Right? There is freedom within, there is freedom without. I love those songs,
Yeah.
right? You remember that? I can't, who made that song? I can't remember the names of the songs, right? There is freedom within, there's freedom without. You are living in an atmosphere that you know nothing about. You have no contact with the natural world, specifically because you see the natural world as apart from you.
Mm.
So it's kind of like you have a bacteria on your arm, and the bacteria says, oh, you know what? I am a rock. I stand alone. I don't need anything because you're a bacteria. You're feeding off of me. Damn you. Okay? This is how the earth is probably feeling about us. You are bacteria. You are part of me, but you don't have any awareness that you're part of me. The air that you're breathing is part of me. The air that's you breathing right now is part of
Mhm.
the earth. So when we tell people to become grounded, it's not sitting underneath a tree, hugging the tree, and smooching it. Oh my God. Okay, that's I'm sorry. That really look.
You
That's
can do
not
that if
what
you
we mean.
want, but
This is not what we mean. And the problem with
yeah.
most of these esoteric teachers, which actually grinds me to heaven, it takes people years and years to figure it out. What we're talking about is dissolve yourself into the awareness that everything that is around you, you are part of that thing. And that thing is part of you. So what you're looking at as inanimate objects are the same as you. And it
Yeah.
literally is scientifically the same as you. This flask here is made up of elements that are inside of me as well. It came from the ground. It came from the ground to make this. It's not plastic, it's metal. Okay?
Yeah.
It came from the
Yeah.
ground to make this. And the same stuff that is inside here as well. You are part of everything. Everything is part of you. The awareness of that means that you are an organism that can affect your environment, and your environment can affect you. The awareness of that makes you the magician that you're asking about.
Ah, yeah.
Moving meditation puts you in that space. So when you move your arm, did you feel the air that you were moving through? Did you or did you not?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. You put people in water and they can feel the water. You put people in the air and like, what are you talking about? I don't. You put people in water and they can feel the water. You move your hand in water, there's resistance and so on. There's resistance when you do this as well, but
Yeah.
you missed it.
Yeah.
You missed it. And so I think that a lot of people tend to overlook moving meditation, and it does not have to be some big Tai Chi Qigong practice. No, it does not.
No.
It's just the mindfulness of everything that you touch, the texturization of things, right?
Yes. Yes.
Understanding, just touching things with mindfulness,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
And go ahead.
no, I just wanted to go into something else that they talked about here, and that meditation can, what meditation does is helps you to handle things better.
Uh
So
huh.
even though you're in discomfort, you're able to, and not pushing it away. That was important. Don't push it away. Don't push your discomfort away.
Yes, become part of it
Become
because
part. Yeah.
yeah, and that's why I'm so against certain kinds of pharmaceuticals and opioids, specifically because they deaden people inside.
Yeah.
I
Then
should
you.
be able to meet you, Amy, in a supermarket somewhere and say, "Hey, Amy, hi, yeah, how's your bladder doing today? It's good. Everything's good with your bladder. How's your pancreas? Your pancreas good today?" And you should be able to answer me. How's your
Yeah.
pancreas doing today? Is it good? Is everything good with your pancreas? Right? We should be able to have those kinds of discussions, right? But you don't have those kinds of discussions because nobody knows what their bladder is doing and what their pancreas is doing. They only know that their bladder is doing well because it's full or it's not full. That's
Yeah.
all they know. So awareness
Yeah.
inside, awareness outside. There's freedom within, there is freedom without. The last kind of meditation is involution, a very dangerous form of meditation if you don't have a spiritual practice. And it's forbidden for a lot of reasons. You will find that kind of meditations in books like The Master Key, which is also out of print from what I can remember,
Mm.
and certain deep esoteric books, because what it really does, it creates a situation in the mind where you're asking your mind to understand itself.
Wow.
And certain Zen Buddhism requires it. You're asking the mind to understand itself. And that's a riddle that the mind has to use all of its resources to understand itself. So when it's using all
Mm.
of its resources, you might be offline for a while,
Oh my goodness.
right? It's using all its resources, but if you have the intentionality for the mind to understand itself, the benefit of that meditation is that if you do that meditation like for a week, it will change your outlook on the entire universe in 1 week. Because you're going to see things a lot differently than you see it now, which is why it's forbidden, because, it makes people dysfunctional. The people who used to practice that meditation, um, the most recent, it's never a good story. They usually drop out of society because nothing makes sense. And
Ah,
we are aware that nothing makes sense, but we're aware that nothing makes sense from a, how should I put it, a cerebral perspective, not an experiential.
like
But that meditation makes you aware.
it's like an existential.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So the
you come
stories
out.
that are coming out of it, and people like, yeah, okay, you know what? None of this makes sense. What am I doing this for? Like, no, okay, I'm done,
Yeah.
finished. And so it has a bad reputation specifically because the people who practice it tend to drop out of society and stop cooperating with, like, family members,
Oh,
etc., and so on. So involution is a meditation form that is a very powerful meditation form. But as I said, unless you have a monastery to go to, no. If you have wife and kids and children, the awareness that nothing makes sense is,
yeah, that's quite.
and the awareness, the experiential awareness that nothing makes sense will change your paradigm quite a bit.
Yeah.
And the truth of
And
the matter is, we know that nothing makes sense. Like, I'm talking to a bunch of atoms here.
yeah,
Like, it's
yeah,
calling itself Amy. This mass of atoms moving together at an accelerated rate is calling itself Amy, and Amy's talking to me. But if I was to experience Amy as a bunch of atoms moving itself around talking to me, then
yeah. That's
you know
that's a bit much.
the mic is a bunch of atoms moving itself around.
That's a bit-
All right, the mic that I'm talking into here is like just a bunch of atoms. And, like little things like that, the awareness of these things, we know these things to be physics and fact.
yeah.
But if you have experience of it, then your paradigm is going to shift
Hmm.
dramatically. Oh, look, I have children, bunch of little atoms running around, screaming. Right? So people tend to stay away from that kind of meditation.
Yeah. Let's. Yeah. We won't go into that one. Because
No, I would
no,
say
we
stop.
don't even. So on this other, they talked about impulse and action, and what they said was, let me see, I wrote it down. There's a gap between what happens and how we react.
Hmm.
Okay, the impulse and then the action, and it said we spend so much of our life just reacting. If we
Yeah.
feel hungry, we eat. If someone says hello, we say hello. It's like those types of reactions. And he asked him the question, the monk, he said, how much are we conscious and how much are we reacting? How much are we consciously and how much are we reacting?
Hmm.
So he said that when we find that gap between the impulse and action and make a different choice,
Hmm.
it's almost in every moment we are standing at the fork in the road. Every moment. It's reaction, response. We have a choice or make a choice. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. We are led by these five horses of our senses
Mm,
from external things. Oh, look, Nikes are on sale at the store.
hmm
Reaction, let me go buy some.
hmm
Oh, look, I'm hungry. Let me go buy some. Oh, look, they're playing the Doritos commercial on TV. I have Doritos in the cupboard. Let me go eat some.
Yes. And he said that, sorry, he said that. So when you meditate and you build that muscle, it helps you pause before you do that. That gap in between helps you pause before you say, oh, yeah, I can do that. I can hold back. That's the pause. I can hold back from those Doritos. I can
Correct.
hold back from buying those
You
Nikes.
want to know when it comes in extremely handy?
Yeah.
when you're in pain in hospital.
Oh,
That's when it comes in extremely handy. That pause that he's talking about.
yeah.
What really hurts? Is it you that hurts, or is it the body that's hurting? There's a difference.
Yeah. One.
Pause for a moment. You're at the dentist.
Yeah.
The dentist is about to put this huge syringe into your mouth. What are you afraid of? You're afraid of the pain. Who's feeling the pain? Can you remove yourself away from it long enough for the dentist to do what he has to do?
Hmm.
Or are you just going to freak out?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because in the freak out moment, you are reacting. And then when you slow down, and I said it earlier on in this broadcast, the best things in life are to be found in the slow and small spaces.
Yeah.
It's the
That's what.
slow and small spaces. So the dentist puts this thing, there's only a brief moment in time when you're going to feel that pain.
Yeah.
But in your mind, it's a big and huge thing. And people don't understand that there's a beauty in that pause. It allows you to remove yourself from situations. And it's useful when you're about to sock somebody in the face, right? For not, I don't know, fixing your patio or something. Right? Like your husband didn't fix your patio, but just let's sock him in the face. Right?
No.
And that holy pause, when you stop there, you
Yeah.
stop for a moment and you're like, who's angry? What is there to be angry about? Is it worth being angry about? That just that pause allows you to see
Yeah.
things.
Right. I love that. I love that. And naturally I've been doing that. And even with my thoughts.
Which part? Sucking people in the mouth?
No, I don't do. Well, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I don't hit people. Um, but um, but yeah. So where was something else I was going to go with this? I really like this conversation.
Yep.
This was good.
It's a very interesting topic to talk about the mind dynamics. A lot of people,
Yeah.
it's the small and slow things. People don't slow the mind down enough to understand that there are times when being mindful or having a mindfulness practice is absolutely useful. But the problem is that esoteric teachers don't teach it that way. It's always shrouded in this mystery. I hate
Yeah.
mysteries. I
Yeah.
hate that nonsense. Okay. All right. The experience of the thing is a lot more anticlimactic. Oh, look, I need to sit on a hill for many, many years so
Yes.
that I could see auras around people and so on. No, actually, you could do it in 5 minutes in your basement somewhere. I'm sorry.
Yes. I mean, he actually said that you don't need to go to a mountain and do all that. And
No, you don't.
And it's like those micro moments of mindfulness at the red light. Just a reminder, at the red light in the grocery store line, getting gas, any of those are micro moments of mindfulness. Oh, where's my breath? Oh, how's my pancreas feel? How's my back feel? You know?
Yeah,
That's part of the meditation though. That is a meditation.
it's like when you go to the doctor, doctor, my back is hurting me. Where? I am not sure. I just know that it's hurting me.
Yeah.
Give me a pill and then it'll go away. No.
Yeah.
Did you go inside your back? Did you see what is going on? Which muscle, when you move, which way did what hurts? Did you get into that? Did you get into your bladder when it was full? How full are you? You think I could hold out to the next gas station 20 miles down the road? Is it healthy to hold out to 20
Yes.
the next gas station? These are the kinds of things that people don't do.
Question everything, correct? Everything.
They don't. And
No.
I think this has been a good broadcast actually, Amy, because a lot of people have misconceptions about what this meditation thing is.
Yes, I did.
It's
And
actually just living naturally, actually. That's all it is.
yes.
It's living like your household pet. Your household pet is
Oh,
more developed. Can you imagine that your dog is more developed spiritually than you are?
I know.
Your dog is more psychic and more developed spiritually than you are. That should be a problem, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. And I like the fact that this simple meditation of breathing, I always thought you had to do this certain kind of breath, but it's just your own breath. Listen to it, feel it.
Correct.
Then, if you go out lost in your thoughts, come back.
For that matter, I just realized that insects are more developed than most people are.
Insects, yes.
A fly can sense your intention
Yes.
before you even act.
Yes.
You can imagine an insect on your wall has more awareness than you do.
No, because
You're
it's
fool.
going around with his eyes. He's got those great eyes.
You are never going to swat that fly if your awareness and your connection with your mind and your body is less than that fly.
Yes. Yeah, it's very simple. And know that it's not a one size fits all. It's you do what feels right for you or what you feel, but this was simple, but it's simple. Don't make it hard.
Correct.
Don't make that thing.
Yeah, you don't need $25 incense,
No.
$40 yoga mat, Lululemon pants $110. What else is there? The incense burner. You need the incense burner.
Oh,
You gotta
yes.
buy that. And then you gotta buy the tapestry to put up on the wall with the mandala or the yantra on it. All right. And then what else you gonna need? You're gonna need a diffuser. I mean, God.
I mean, come on. See, that I'm guilty of that stuff.
Right, and you're
I'm
gonna
guilty.
need the diffuser. But since we're at it, we should get some lapis lazuli because that helps with meditation, and some sandalwood paste and some rudraksha beads, right, to wear around our neck as well, right, and make sure that the little shroud that we're wearing is made of Egyptian cotton. Guys, seriously, yo,
Yeah.
just cut the nonsense. All right, meditation could be as simple as you walking down the road or taking a walk through the park. That is moving meditation because you are in awareness.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I want to leave you guys with this thought. Don't let your dog be more developed than you.
Or cat or bird
All
or
right,
or the
and,
fly in your house.
don't let the fly in your house be more developed than you. Like make an effort, right? Get that third eye working, right?
Yeah.
And yeah,
Have a chat. Have a chat with the fly before.
yes, yeah. Ask him, yo, how are you so aware?
Yes.
Have a discussion with that fly. How are you so aware? How do you know? How do you know what my intention is?
Mm.
These are the kinds of discussions that you want to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fly could be your teacher. So yeah,
I like that. I like that. Okay.
that was a good. That was a very
Thank
good discussion, AB.
That was good. That was good. I'm glad I listened to that and listened to you. And that's it, guys. Until next time,
Keep
keep
it
it
unscripted.
unscripted. Bye.
Goodbye. Hey guys, this is David Hurd, just letting you guys know that we've completed 2 online stores for your convenience and for your budget. The first is our software store, which is at shop.onexa.com. We've grouped all the AI tools that we've created, including a tool that will allow you to actually create employees for your business. The second is the shop.onexa.com arsessentia.org store, where you can buy merchandise as well as self-improvement courses for yourself. These courses are internationally accredited by world bodies such as the Yoga Alliance, the International Association of Counselors and Therapists, and so on. Yeah, guys, so just check out our store and let us know what you think. And remember, if there's anything that you don't see in the store, we can absolutely custom build these tools for you. So if your business has a specific absolute requirement, we can build stuff for you from scratch. Okay? Check out our store, guys, and let us know what you think. Take care.